Welcome to YOUCANIC. In this video we're going to show you how to troubleshoot AC issues on a Mazda using the YOUCANIC scanner. So you start by plugging in the YOUCANIC adapter into the OBD2 port, which is located underneath the dashboard of your Mazda. And once you plug that in, then you press the start button twice without pressing the brake pedal, and that's going to turn on all your dash lights. And then we can go ahead and then turn on the YOUCANIC scanner. And then you go to diagnostics, select Mazda, select smart VIN. That's gonna select your model. Like in this case, we're working with a CX9. But if your model is not automatically detected, you can manually select it as well. Press yes there, and then go to control modules. Quick scan goes through all the different control modules and looks at different codes. That is a good idea to always run a quick scan. But here we're focused on the air conditioning system. So if your AC is fully recharged but your AC is still not working, then this is what you'll need to do. You need to come to control modules and then select electronic air temperature controller. Now on older models, older Mazda models, they might just say AC control unit. So but you can read codes. That would be the first thing that you can do, because sometimes there might be codes that, even though your system has a right amount of refrigerant in it, they might have a bad sensor in it, so that's preventing it from running. The AC control module is just preventing, it's not sending a start signal. So you can save the report if you want. You can save it on the device, email it, or print it, whatever you like. And then if you go back here, you can clear the codes, especially if you have a lot of codes in this control module, the AC control module. Then you want to clear it because some of them might have happened in the past and you don't know which one is actually causing the issue. You can clear them, see if that fixes the issue. If it doesn't, start the car, drive it for 5 minutes, and come and reread the codes, because from 10 codes you might have in there, most of them might be really old if the car was never scanned or hasn't been scanned for a long time. A lot of them will clear, but then the one that's actually an issue will come back and you'll be in that list. But if there's no codes present at all, the next thing that I would recommend doing is to go to live data. And under live data, we have a lot of data points here, over 50, but we can select all, press OK. And what this is doing is you can actually go ahead and start the car at this point, and you can do things like AC switch is off. You press the AC switch, it still stays off. That at least should turn on to on. Auto switch is off, but if you're pressing that switch and nothing is happening, you might have a bad switch. If you keep scrolling down, you can look at these sensors. You can look at fans, what's happening with them. You know, this will update as you are driving, as the engine is running. But if you see something that's like really low, you can see voltages here, module output voltage, and that is okay because some of these AC modules or the various control modules work on 5 volts, so that's not an issue there. It's getting 12 volt. But you can see the units on the right, so this can be really good for troubleshooting. It depends. Usually you'll either have a code there, or if you look at this data now, this data can be a little bit more challenging though, because you need to figure out, okay, what are the recommended, what is out of range here. But this car, for example, doesn't have any issues. Those were old codes that we had there, so you can kind of see a default on what these values kind of should be. But you can also graph different inputs that were looked at earlier, and you can, if you had somebody drive, you can look at this data live and compare it. Another thing that we recommend is if you go back to the control units, control modules, you can run a quick scan, because sometimes you might have another module that might have a code that will point you to what's going on. So sometimes maybe like there's a body control module that's not communicating. I mean, a lot of the AC controls, it's run through the body control module, which is your front fuse box, for example. So you might have a full code in one of those as well. So it's good to run a quick scan, look at all the different fault codes that are present, and try to connect the dots, because usually with the newer Mazdas there's going to be a fault code in one of these control modules. Most of the time there's still a few cases where the car just doesn't pick the fault code at all, and the module doesn't throw any fault codes, but generally speaking you will have a fault code in one of these modules. That's all. Thank you for watching YOUCANIC, where you can be the mechanic.